Hi FlossTube, it's Lorna the Ladybird Stitcher. Today is Wednesday the 21st of March and I'm here for my next update. I've got a few things to show you. I had a finish these last couple of weeks and I've finished a couple of other goals, so I'd just like to discuss that with you. I also finished a couple of books and I've had absolutely no haul, so that's so it will probably be a pretty quick video. Just one thing I've been forgetting to mention is that last month I had my 3-year anniversary on FlossTube. So I've been on FlossTube since the 15th of February 2015. So yeah, so that's pretty exciting. And another thing is that I'll be going to the States from next week. So I'll be there for the majority of April, and I'm hoping to meet up with at least one other FlossTuber. So stay tuned for that. So I'm really excited about that, but it means that I may not be back until May after this video. So that's the reason why you may not see me for a while. But let's get straight into the stitching. So I'll go through my finish first. Oops, sorry about that. So I worked on Afternoon in London by Cottage Needleworks, and I will insert a picture of what it looked like the last time you saw it. And here it is now. Sorry about the glare. I'm right in front of a window and it's really cloudy today, so, but that's it. That looks better. Yeah, so I'm really happy with that. That is on 28 count Opal Lugana, Island of Avalon by Colour Cascade Fabrics, and that was a lot of fun to stitch. I'm really happy with it. And I've used all the colours that were recommended and that were charted. So a mixture of Gast, Weeks Dye Works and DMC. So yeah, really happy with that one. That will go up next to my Paris one. I also finished a page on my stocking, Faithful Friends, and here's what it will look like when it's finished. And here's what it looked like the last time you saw it. And here it is now. So there's page 1 and 2 up the top, and then page 3 was blank. Because it's a stocking, it's a funny shape. So there's no page 3 on this chart, but this is page 4 and that's now finished. And my goal for the year was to finish page 5. I'm kind of rethinking, it was to finish page 4 and 5. I'm kind of rethinking that, and I'm thinking that I had other goals for Juliet and for Mini Cinderella on the Stairs as well. I'm now kind of thinking that I should probably focus more on this one, and rather than stop at page 5 is just continue, because I think from memory there's only maybe 3 pages on the bottom and then it will be done. And I just think if I can get that finished, it'll probably put me in a better mindset of working on the other 2 rather than having all these heids that are on the go. So I'm just kind of thinking that through. It may or may not happen, but that's what my mindset is at the moment. So yeah, I'm thinking I might take this one overseas with me and just put all the floss, because I currently use a floss box for this project, but maybe I'll put all the floss on a floss card so it won't weigh me down so much in my luggage, and I might take it with me. So hopefully you'll see a bit of progress on that after next month. Another height I worked on was Storykeep Secret Door, and here's what it will look like the last time. Sorry, here's what it will look like when it's finished. And here's what it looked like the last time you saw it. And here's where it is now, and that is page 1 and 2 finished, and that's as far as, that's as wide as it will go. It won't get any wider than that. So there's now page 3 and 4, 5 and 6, and then 7 and 8 I think are half pages. So I may be wrong about that, I can't remember, but I should hopefully finish this one this year as well. So if I have 2 heids out of the way, then all I'll have as whips will be 1 Haid and 1 Children Crafts piece as full coverage. So I don't know, I'm thinking I did want to finish this piece as of my original goal anyway, and that's still very much my original goal. So sorry, that's still very much my goal as at now as well. So yeah, but it's very exciting. You can see sort of some flowers coming through there in her hand, so it's not just background. It was getting a little bit tedious just working on this brown, dark brown and black there, but now that I can see a bit more detail on the side, it's really, I'm really happy with this one. And both of these heids are being worked on 25 count Lugana 1/1 full crosses. Next I worked on Guardians of Notre Dame by Ingleside Imaginarium, and this is a mystery whip, a mystery cell, so I don't have the final picture, but here's where it was the last time you saw it. And here's where it is now. So I've got January, February and March chimeras done. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. I am not quite finished with the border. I'm only halfway. I think I'll be taking this one with me as well. The border is only made up of 2 colours, so that's really easy to transport. And I think the April chimera, which I'm assuming will go under March's one, will just have 3 colours in it. And then the back stitch is all in black. So I think I could probably take those colours with me really easily and it won't weigh me down at all. So, and I really enjoy working on this one. It's on a 28 count Jobelin. It's really soft. And I just got it on eBay. I don't know where it originally came from. So yeah, it's just in a tan colour. And my goal on that one is to finish it by the end of the year. So keep up with all the blocks as they come out. And then the only other whip I worked on was the Prairie Schooler alphabet. I started on block D. I'm putting this one on 28 count Lugana 1/1 full crosses as well. So it is a little bit harder than the Heids. Although it's not completely full coverage, it's close enough. They are pretty stitch heavy, these pieces. So working on 28 count 1/1, you can definitely tell the difference between 25 count and 28 count. The main thing I'm having trouble with is, especially with the darker colors, I usually do, because there are a lot of blocks of colors on these, I will usually do a row of sort of one side of the cross and then come back and do the rest of the cross. And I'm having trouble seeing which crosses I've completed and which ones I haven't on the 28 count. So that's the main issue I'm finding on that. But you know, I'm working it out, so it's not too bad. Now with D, you'll notice that there's kind of a backwards American flag up here, and the drum has a very American feel to it, and there's a bald eagle here. Now the others I've done, A was for anchor and that had like a sea scene, B was for blackbird and that had blackbird pie or a pie, and you can kind of make the connection between blackbirds and pies, I guess, due to the nursery rhyme. And C was a cow, and that had like a barn scene and a farm scene on it, which all made sense. To me though, and please correct me if I'm missing something really obvious, or I'm just being a stupid Australian, or an ignorant Australian, I should say, but I don't know what the connection between D is for drum and America is. I just can't work it out. And I'm obviously not American, I'm Australian, so to me putting an American flag up there and making the drum American doesn't make much sense to me. So if there is something I'm missing, I really would like to know before I continue, but at this stage I'm thinking of changing it. I'll show you what I've done so far. Here's what it looked like the last time you saw it. And here's where that block is now. So what I'm thinking of doing is making all of this and all of this red, and then having the inside just as white. And then I've just kind of thought of that because I don't want to do blocks of colors. That'll take me forever, like all through there. It'll just take me forever. So I just wanted to do some red on this side and some red on that side, just to show the outline of the drum without backstitching. And then where the flag would have been, I'm just going to put some music notes up there. And that to me would make it more, it would have more to do with the drum than an American flag. As far as the eagle goes, I'm just going to leave it because frankly I'm not artistic enough to change it. And I think, you know, it's an eagle. Although an eagle doesn't have much to do with the drum, I'm just going to leave it because I can't change it. So yeah, that's where I'm at the moment, and I feel really silly for not picking that up before I started on this project. That's the first time I've actually noticed that that's the D block. All the others make a lot of sense to me, but D just doesn't make sense. So yeah, if there is something I'm missing, please let me know. And I don't want to cause any offense to America or Americans. I'm very fond of Americans and America, and that's why I'm going over there next week. But yeah, I'm just having trouble seeing what the connection is. And because I'm not American, putting an American flag on my stitching, unless there's a really good reason for it, just doesn't make sense to me. So that's why I'll be making those changes, unless I hear otherwise, unless I hear that there is a really good reason. That's it. That's all I've done on my stitching. But I did finish some, you know, I finished 2 full coverage pages. I finished Afternoon in London. I finished the block on Guardians of Notre Dame, and I'm hoping to finish the block D of the Prairie Schooler alphabet. And I will also be taking this project with me. And I've just put all the colours aside and taking that with me, so hopefully I can keep up with the letters, and I'm hoping that I'll be able to get E and F done by the time I get back. So that's my goal. I don't know, you know, in my head I'm just going to be sitting stitching all the time, but that's obviously not going to happen. So I'll just do what I can. That's the best I can do. Now books. So yeah, plans, I'm just going to take those pieces that I mentioned with me. I'm thinking I may also take Emerald Mermaid with me by Mirabilia, because I really would like to finish that in May, and I don't want to come home and kind of find that I've got to catch up on this, catch up on that, and not have enough time to do it. So if I take it with me, hopefully I'll be able to work on it a little bit while I'm overseas. That's really the plans, just keeping up with my goals, really. Now, like I said earlier, there was no haul, so I'll just move straight on to books. I finished 2 books over the last couple of weeks. The first one was Nyxia by Reintgen, and I know I'm butchering that, so I'm really sorry. I will put the details of the books that I mentioned below. Now, Nyxia was, I really enjoyed it. As I mentioned in my last video, I was reading it then. It is a young adult novel, but I think that it would appeal to a lot of adults as well. Basically, it's sometime in the future, probably I'd say maybe about, I don't know, maybe about 40 years into the future. They say things like, this isn't 1920, you know, or sorry, this isn't 2020, you know, or Google was swallowed up by Babel back in 2032, I think it was. So it's a little bit into the future, but not distant future, not ridiculously ridiculously so. So yeah, like I said, Google was swallowed up by Babel, which is another large company, and they've discovered another planet called Eden, and on this planet they discovered a substance called Nyxia, and this substance is able to change into products, into rings or weapons, things like that. So you can't turn it into food or water or anything like that, but you can turn it into material objects. And obviously the company Babel want to mine it and bring it back to Earth so that they can make money out of it. The only problem is that the inhabitants of Nyxia are not friendly to humans. However, their youngest inhabitant is 21 years old. It appears that they are no longer able to reproduce, and so they find anyone under 21 acceptable in humans. And so all the people that are being sent to Nyxia to do the mining, being sent to Eden to mine Nyxia, are teenagers. And there are 10 teenagers fighting for 8 places. And although they'll be away from home for 3 years, they will be compensated very handsomely. And you get to know the characters, and each and every one of them has a really really good need. What's the word I'm thinking of? A genuine need for the money that they will be providing and the healthcare and that kind of thing. So they're all fighting really hard to get onto Nyxia, onto Eden. I found that a lot of the well, Babel and Eden and some of the challenges that these teenagers had to go through, there are a lot of biblical words used, and I kind of, my thinking on that is that Babel as the company was kind of trying to play God, and I guess maybe the author was trying to represent that. Whether that's true or not, or I've just made it up, I don't know. But yeah, it was a real page turner. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, that's Nyxia by Scott Reintgen. I know I'm not pronouncing that properly, but I will put all the details below. The other book that I read was Where Are the Children by Mary Higgins Clark, and this was written, whereas Nyxia's quite recent, I think it was only written last year. Where Are the Children was written in 1975, so it is a little bit older. Basically, a mother had 2 children, was married with 2 children, and both these children were found murdered back in the past. She got off the murder charge. She was the main suspect, the prime suspect. She was got off the murder charge by a technicality, and she changed her appearance, met a new man who knows all about her past, has had another 2 children, and has moved and has made a new life for herself. Exactly 7 years after the disappearance of her first 2 children, her 2 children from this marriage disappear as well. And so, of course, suspicion rests mainly on her. And it is a bit of a heart-wrenching read, but at the same time it was a page turner, so I really enjoyed reading it. So yeah, that's Where Are the Children by Mary Higgins Clark. I'm currently reading Longbourn. I'll put the author here because I can't remember who it is. But it's basically a take on Pride and Prejudice, and it's being told from the point of view of the servants. So in Pride and Prejudice, there's a reference to Mrs. Hill, who is the Bennet, the Bennet servant, Bennet maid, I guess, the housemaid. And so we read all about the staff that are downstairs, I guess, from the Bennet family, and how they, what they think of the Bennet family and how they live their lives. So I'm finding that quite interesting as well. So yeah, I'll tell you how I get on with that. People are saying what they're currently loving at the moment. I'm going to say that I'm currently loving my Kindle. I used to have the first generation Kindle, and I bought that many years ago. I think I got it for Christmas one year, and I had all my books loaded on it. I had thousands of books loaded on it, and it met with my daughter, and let's say my daughter won. It basically snapped in two, and I was devastated because it had free 3G on it, so anywhere in the world that I could download a book without needing Wi-Fi for absolutely nothing. It was excellent, and I had all my books stored on it, and it weighed practically nothing. It was excellent. So I was devastated when it broke, and I haven't replaced it until now. Now that we're going overseas, I was kind of thinking, what am I going to do on the plane? I don't want to carry any physical books because our space is kind of limited. So I decided to get another one, and I'm very pleased with it. It's still got the paper white screen, so it doesn't glare. And although my books are no longer loaded on it, I still own the books, so I can still download them, but I do need to be connected to Wi-Fi to download them. So I've been doing that while I'm here, while I'm home, before I get on that plane, because once I'm on the plane, I just won't be able to download them. So I'm kind of trying to work out what I will be reading next week and trying to have it ready to go by then. The reason I don't like using my iPad to read is because when I'm really into a book, I will not put it down until it's finished, and the iPad battery only lasts for maybe 6-7 hours if I'm reading constantly, whereas with the Kindle you can read unlimited for. My old Kindle was up to 2 weeks. This one I think is probably a little bit less because it does have a backlight, so you can read it in perfect darkness, which is also handy for a plane. But I don't think it will last 2 weeks, but I think it's definitely lasting a lot longer than a tablet. So yeah, that's what I'm all into at the moment. I think that's all I have for you this video, and like I said, I won't be around for probably the next month, so I will see you in May. Have a wonderful month. Please stay safe, and happy stitching. Bye everyone.